This is Strictly Auburn Week 5 recap podcast. I'm here with my boys Eli Lingo and Connor King after a rocky Auburn loss yesterday. How we doing, boys?
Doing good. Still feeling that loss, but it's still great to be an Auburn Tiger.
Absolutely, yeah. It's War every day, but
For sure.
It's great to be on here right now.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was, felt like we played really well at the start of that game. Started off really hot in that first quarter. Got up to a 17-0 lead, and just like we've been accustomed to as Auburn fans these past couple of years, threw the game away. It kind of feels like ever since that, I think it was A&M game or Mississippi State game last year. I'm drawing a blank on who it was.
It was Mississippi State when we
Mississippi
blew
State,
the lead.
21 points or whatever it was.
was.
Yeah, through that. Feels like ever since then, that's just kind of been the way that Auburn football has gone. There were some positives, some negatives yesterday, but yeah, let's dive into it and kind of just recap everything yesterday. What did you guys do for the game? Were you guys tailgating, working? What was the deal?
I tailgated for a little bit and then went to the game. Had a pretty good spot in the stadium. I think we were all in the stadium, right?
Yeah, we were on the student section, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw
Yeah, I
Jake
was.
yesterday. He rows above me for a little while.
Yeah.
And
I
Hey,
ended up moving down. I had some good seats.
Yeah, I was stuck
Yeah,
where I
that,
was. But
yeah,
tailgates
that
were
was
great.
good.
It was great energy yesterday as a whole. Before the game,
for
of
sure.
course. And
Striped
during
Stadium
the
turned
game,
out really,
too.
really well.
Hey,
Much better than I
Striped
thought.
Stadium looked actually pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, after last week, I had some pretty low expectations for what I thought it was going to look like, but everyone showed up, showed out. The stadium looked really, really good.
I think that's what you just get with Auburn, though. I mean, no matter how bad, everybody still has this like kind of miraculous hope that we're still going to be good. So like they show up anyways. But I mean, that's good characteristic to have in a fan base. So, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's just
I
the
mean-
standard and tradition of Auburn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what.
In my opinion, I didn't grow up an Auburn fan like you guys did, so I'm a little more used to seeing it from a third person perspective. But just from my eyes, Auburn fans don't deserve this football team, like what's going on, or the other way around. This Auburn football team doesn't deserve the fandom that they've gotten this year. They have not played up to it. They haven't given fans a reason. They've given us no reason to show out yet. Somehow every week we pack that stadium and we're crazy loud and unparalleled support.
That's one of the main reasons why I love Auburn so much, is because it
Exactly.
doesn't matter
too.
if we're 3-9 or if we're undefeated going to the national championship. We're gonna have fans there supporting no matter what. So
Me too.
it's great to be an Auburn Tiger every day.
For sure. For sure. You want to talk about the offense first or defense first?
I mean, just for positivity reasons, I kind of want to start with Robby. So
actually,
Robby,
let's do that.
So Robby Ashford got his second straight start. He's one and
Ever,
one
yeah.
as a starter. TJ Finley still hurt. Kind of feels like Robbie's going to be the starter for the rest of the season.
I hope
Just
so.
got my gut feeling. He played well yesterday. Definitely his best action as an Auburn Tiger. Still, that turnover is costly. Turnovers are costly. And yeah, I mean, what did you guys think of his performance?
Well, he went 19 of 38 for 337 yards, which, I mean, I can't remember the last time an Auburn quarterback has passed anywhere near that number before. So, I mean, if we're just looking at the positives for now, having that amount of passing yards is good. He also had 2 passing touchdowns, which I didn't think was going to – if you told me that Robby Ashford was going to pass for almost 400 yards and 2 passing touchdowns the week prior, I'd been like, you're actually insane, you know? So, I mean, going from you can tell he's improving for sure. You can definitely tell he's improving in this game. He looked more comfortable in the pocket for sure. Standing in there, making throws. Like you mentioned, he did have happy feet last week. You didn't see that too much from him. There's a lot
There
of
was
times
there
where
was
he could
still
sit
shot.
there.
There were definitely still like his moments where he got nervous in that pocket and would run first. Still make some
Well, I mean-
like early quick decisions that were probably the wrong, like forcing balls. He made a few noticeably errant easy throws on checkdowns. That was a little concerning. I noticed it. This is pretty specific, but when he would check down to the left side of his body, left side of the field, I felt like a lot of it was like short arming balls, and they were ending up at the feet of his receivers. I noticed that like 3 or 4 times. So,
I mean, yeah, he's still got a lot of improvement to do for sure.
Obviously,
but I think just going from his first ever start to his second start, he's made a huge jump, which is really good.
That's what you want to see.
His team, yeah, that's exactly what you want to see.
Connor,
what'd you see? Yeah.
I think you look great for, like y'all said, the second time starting ever. It all was really based on field time. You know, Finley's had a lot of time on the field, a lot of time in close games with really talented teams. You know, Ashford started against Missouri last week, and LSU is a step up from Missouri. Ashford, to be honest, I think there was a lot of times, like y'all were saying, where he had a little bit of a happy feet. I think a lot of times that was also designed too, and it was, you know, it may have been RPO or something like that. Overall, he looked like a complete quarterback, and as a redshirt freshman, he looks great, and I hope he just keeps developing, and I think he'll be our starter for a long time, and hopefully the rest of the season. One
of the things that I've said for almost 4 weeks now is he shows flashes of what he can be. And I think when he's playing well and when we're talking about him playing well, he shows these flashes, and we have these, like, I don't even know who to compare it to in college football right now or ever. It honestly gives me like Lamar Jackson flashbacks, because he's just super quick. He moves like a running back and has an arm that's a decent arm. I mean, looking back at college football, the last guy that I remember having that same skill set is Lamar Jackson at Louisville. Not saying they're comparable athletes, because Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson, but Robby Ashford, if he's trusted with an offense, he'll likely be in a new system next year, and we'll see if he ends up being the guy with a new regime whenever that happens, if that happens. But I think he definitely shows flashes.
One thing I like about Robby is his competitiveness, just as a football player. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw this, but one play I saw when we had that ridiculous call on the red zone on second down, Coy Moore threw that interception, and Robby comes and just
laid him out. Laid him out.
You don't see a lot of quarterbacks going. I mean, maybe it's kind of a stupid play for him in the long run, but like just having that mindset to go out there and lay your body out and go lay some hat on somebody, I like that.
I mean, he hit that DB so hard. I thought he was going to fumble the ball. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that was... So just going forward with him, I like his competitiveness, and I think the way he's improving really quickly. So I think he's intelligent as well as a quarterback. So I like what I saw. I mean, we can nitpick about the 50% completion, making stupid errors like that. But, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's just little nitpick stuff. But I guess we'll see how he turns out the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's those small things are what's going to make a good quarterback into a winning quarterback. Because we could look at it on a greater scale. We asked for more attempts from Ashford. He had 38 attempts. I don't have the stats in front of me, but he had 38 attempts.
38 attempts.
We saw him at a greater clip, and his arm didn't really live up to what we thought it would. He made I think 3 really nice throws.
I would say his arm lived up to my expectation. I mean,
100%.
I thought he exceeded, because I mean,
he made 3 really yards. He made 3 really good deep ball throws.
Which were pretty. Yeah.
What was what was the pass? He threw one into double coverage right in front of the student
against
section,
Coy Moore. Yeah.
That was
Coy Moore. That was on a third down. And most of the one thing I do want to note, most of those big throws were on 3rd and 15, 3rd and 10. Where he's a guy, no other choice but to make a good throw to that receiver. So, I mean, I thought for me, in my opinion, I think he showed his arm is capable enough to play at quarterback.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just the 50% completion doesn't work. That doesn't work when you're given almost 40 passing attempts.
No, you're right. I mean,
especially in an offense that's filled with checkdowns.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said, most of his incompletions were on short. I'd love to see a stat that shows this, but I'm actually curious because I would guess that most of his incompletions came under like 7-yard passes.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I haven't. I need to re-watch the game. But yeah, I think I do remember a couple of passes being incomplete down in the middle of the field, short plays. But one thing I do want to note as well, I think our O-line actually looked improved. I'm not gonna lie.
Improved, but not
good.
Not to a standard. Yeah.
Yeah, but improved. So they. I mean, I wish I don't have a stat for how many hurries we had, but just watching the game, I did not see as many hurries as we had last week. I'll say that. And we didn't give up a sack either.
They played well, just way too many penalties.
No, you're right.
I think the team as a whole had 10, 11 penalties. You can't win. At any level of football, you can't win football games like that. It's not possible.
Yeah.
I think we gave up almost 100. We gave up over 100 yards in penalties.
If we're talking about penalties, man, those refs were are pretty. I don't know. I mean, we don't. I'm not saying we lost the game because of the ref, but like those refs are pretty nitpicky on the. I mean, and they called some questionable pass. I mean,
the PI on DJ James, yeah. But I mean, if anyone from New York or anyone from home that knows me from home will probably laugh when I say this, but I don't want to blame referees for that. Like, they made the calls that they made, and you have to adjust to that, and you got to make plays.
No, you do. But I don't think they called a great game at all.
No, the student section definitely didn't appreciate the refs.
But you got to.
I'll tell you that much.
No, you do have to adapt and overcome, that's just the game.
And also, we were given numerous opportunities to overcome those penalties.
No, you're right.
Like we say, Robby Ashford played really well. However, in the big moments and I would guess of his 300 and however many yards, I would guess that 250 of them came in the first half.
Yeah, that's the main thing with this team right now is we just can't finish in the second half, which
we can't finish in the last 3 quarters.
Yeah, which you can't. I don't know if you can hang that on the players because I think they played a hell of a game. They fought to the very end with. You saw that fumble that we had that the defense forced a turnover late in the fourth quarter that gave us our offense another shot.
And we handed it right back to him.
Which wasn't. I don't want to put that on Robbie's. That was just a good play by the defense.
No, that's on the offense. That's the.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That comes with IQ and not if you're Coy Moore in that situation,
you have to catch that, dude. Yeah.
You have to catch it, and you have to know what's the situation is.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of what's going on. You have to be aware. If I'm gonna throw it better be out of bounds, or it better not be at an LSU Tiger. Better not be someone in a white jersey catching that ball.
Well, I think it was a good throw overall, but Coy Moore, he bobbled the catch, and the LSU player just made a good play and stripped it from him. Well, that's how I saw it, but I don't know.
It was a 50-50 ball at the end of the day, and he had a better angle. The Auburn the receiver was going down. He was already in a spot where if he would have kept it in, I don't know if he would have even kept the ball all the way, to be honest. But it was great defense.
It was
a tough play. It was a bad break.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah.
It is what it is, and you can't change that. Just certain IQ things, like knowing where you are in the field. We'll just leave it at that. I wasn't a fan of, once again, play calling this game. Another atrocious game play called, I think, and coached. I want to highlight a couple things. 2 different 4th downs. Same play call, same throw into double coverage. It literally felt like one guy ran a route. He was covered deep by the right pylon, and it was just thrown up to him. I think it was Landon King.
It was Camden Brown up.
Or Camden Brown. You put guys in a position to fail. That's not that's not it. And then before that, going into that fourth down, Harsin screwed himself and called a timeout on a 4th and 10 in the middle of the field where they should have punted the ball away. And if you're going to go for it, I don't understand taking a shot.
I did not like the fourth down calls from Harsin. I mean, because our defense was playing a hell of a game the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
We were
Trust
pitching
your defense.
shutouts left and right, and exactly. So why not put him back on the 10-yard line and play some defense? Let them do their thing, right? I don't know. It was weird.
How many yards of offense or passing yards did LSU have in the second half?
5.
Remind me. 5.
5.
Yeah.
5 yards, dude.
It's awful.
But all right, so that's really good from the defensive perspective. I mean, if you're letting our DBs we were locking up, bro.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah, they played.
Keontae Scott, even Jalen Simpson and Nehemiah Pritchett, all 4 of them had a great game.
So we should. Why don't we just punt the ball away then and let them work? It's simple.
I know it was weird
Because it doesn't make sense, and it's a head coach who is playing on borrowed time, in my opinion. I think in every Auburn fan's opinion, is playing on borrowed time, and he's got nothing. He pretty much has nothing to lose.
Another thing too about Harsin is that obviously I know he's probably settled in a little bit into SEC play, but coaching at Boise State and you're head to head against Mountain West teams like New Mexico and Utah State and things like that, and Boise State have a decent caliber of players. They have some good athletes up there compared to most of the teams in the West that are Group of 5 schools. He's used to taking shots at big plays that don't even make sense most of the time, and they work against lower caliber teams. But that doesn't fly against LSU and other SEC teams.
Yeah. Like, all right, so I like the big play calls on maybe the right situational time,
like a 2nd and 2, like a 2nd and 2,
or on a first
down.
Like you just
yeah.
But on 4th and 10, and there's I forgot what it was in the fourth quarter when he called that. It was in the fourth quarter, like 5 minutes or probably like 6 minutes left to go in the game, and you're throwing to a freshman wide receiver. Like, no offense to
and you burned a timeout.
And you burned a timeout, which is another stupid mistake he made. But I mean, I don't know. There's so many other plays you could draw up on 4th and 10 that could have worked way better than just 1-on-1 against on 4. I don't know. Yeah.
I completely agree.
It was such a poorly designed play. I don't know. Like, you would think, or actually, not you would think. I know that these coaches have to meet during the week, and you have to know
they definitely do.
You have to know that, like, going into the game, you have to think, all right, it's 4th down. It's 4th and 10, and we have to convert. What's our play? What's our go-to in 4th and long? What's our go-to in 4th and medium? What's our go-to 4th and short?
Yeah.
That there is, and if it is, I hope Parson never gets another head coaching job. If that's your go-to play call, that's not possible. That's not possible. That can't be it. That can't be your go-to.
You're making a great point because, like, how do you sit as a staff?
They called a timeout.
I know. I don't know, Jake. You're making a great point there.
That was their go-to.
Yeah.
With a receiver who has, 2 receptions on the year?
Look, hey, don't knock. Camden Brown's a good receiver now, but, like, you're right. And but
you're going to throw to him on a 4th and 10 with the game on the line, and you're going to throw to him in double coverage when he has 2 receptions on the year.
Yeah.
That is absolutely mind-boggling to me. If you're going by, like, all right, you don't want to throw to Javarius Johnson or Cedric Jackson because they're a little bit undersized. Coy Moore, speedster, a little bit undersized. You have Landon King. Even Landon King. Like, or Amari Kelly, who's played in more games.
I just think in general, if you're trying to, why do it just a straight vertical route? Like, I want something over the middle. You only have to get 10 yards.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Maybe a screen or I don't know, dude. Something other than a straight vertical shot to Camden Brown. Like, there's a lot of I don't know. It was a weird call, but
all right. I need to move on to something else because my head's gonna explode.
Let's talk about the defense. You want to talk about defense?
They played great. I don't have that many complaints. I mean, obviously, 21 points were scored, 3 touchdowns, but our up front we looked not too bad. Like we had a few tackles for loss, a couple sacks as well. Our DBs locked up. Obviously, we got unlucky a few times, but that really the defense did their job. Our offense just needed to score more, in my opinion.
Yeah, defense had a great. I mean, as many 3-and-outs as Auburn had this weekend, the way the defense played was really, really good.
They played better this week than Mercer.
Same knock I had earlier in the show. Too many penalties, whether they're good calls or bad calls. It doesn't matter. They're costly. You have I know it's a different penalty in college, the 15-yarder instead of a first and goal pass interference. That's a 15-yard penalty down the field. That costs you a drive. That was a third down. That gets you out of that. You get the ball back, all that, and pass interference. Whether it's a good call, bad call, it doesn't matter that it was called.
Yeah.
So too many penalties, just costly penalties.
I mean, they still played a great game. Forced a turnover late in the game, which if you needed a turnover in any situation or any time, that was the time we needed one, and they forced it, and we couldn't draw up any plays that could drive down the field and score and ice the game. And speaking of icing the game, Anders, man, I said we bench him.
I don't want to I'm not one that believes in jinxes or anything, but the week that I said on the show, the one part of our game that's done really well is special teams. Anders goes and misses 3 field goals, and then this week happens.
And then we drop fumble, and then we drop punts, and I don't know. He's I'm not saying it was a good call, but the reason why I probably harshed away on it for 4th and 10, is he didn't trust Anders to make that field goal, which
punt it.
Or punt, but I know punt it, but I'm just saying the reason why. But we could have gone for a field goal as well, but he probably didn't trust Anders, which is not. That's another issue with this Auburn team is if we don't have a good field goal kicker, when we can't drive down the field, it doesn't help us at all. So we need to figure that situation out. Maybe do we start on the next weekend?
Yes. If you're Harsin, you have Anders Carlson. Kind of ironic. This is also kind of a coincidence. We have 2 brothers of NFL stars in that kicking room. We got Anders Carlson, younger brother of Daniel Carlson. He kicks for the Raiders. Auburn's all-time leading scorer. And then I'm drawing a blank. We have Evan McPherson's younger brother. His name is something, I'm sure. Do you know his first name?
I don't know. I don't know his first name.
Whatever.
But I heard he's really good.
It's not like he's gonna see this.
Yeah.
So
I heard he's really
sorry,
good.
Evan. Sorry, Evan's brother. But yeah, he's probably really good. Probably has a bomb leg and probably has ice in his veins, just like his brother.
Carlson looks scared to kick the ball this weekend.
He does.
I've never seen a kicker.
He looks like he's got the yips.
Look like that, but yeah, it just looked like he was nervous every time he came on the field. So maybe we need to try something with McPherson. I'm guessing that's his last name as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna look this up because I feel like an asshole.
But I mean, yeah, like he has to have potential. What year is he?
Pretty sure he's a freshman.
All right, his little brother.
McPherson, yeah. Okay.
Logan. Wait.
He was Logan. No, that's not. They had 3 brothers. Logan's the older one.
Alex
McPherson.
Alex.
All right, sorry, Alex.
Sorry, Alex. No, but we want you in the game.
Alex, we really want to see you play, and your brother is
come join our show sometime as well if you'd like. You can make some picks with us.
If anyone watches this show and knows Alex McPherson, please send him that and get him on this show.
Yeah, but he was really good in high school. He's a 5-star. 5-star kicker. So I don't know. I think by now, Anders is just not looking. I don't know. I don't trust him at all. I have no more faith whenever he lines up for a field goal, even if it's an extra point. I have no faith for him.
And this, honestly, I agree, because this is probably my first time ever in Auburn history where I've looked at our kicker and been like, wow, I don't think he can make this field goal. Because usually our kickers are hitting 55-yarders and touchbacks all the time. Yeah,
exactly.
And, Carlson, older brother Carlson, he was amazing.
Well, they brought up the game. Yeah, they brought up the game where he had to kick 6 field goals, and he made all of them.
Yeah,
in one game.
Yeah, this is also this is a different ball game. This week is a different ball game if Anders makes kicks, but again, you can't blame games on a kicker because this offense was given numerous chances to. They were given so many opportunities to fix everything. I don't want to go back and harp on it. I happily will because for whatever reason that's all I can do with this Auburn football team.
Every side of the ball had hiccups. Every side of the ball, and
you. Oh my God! Before I have a brain aneurysm, I just want to point out this defense had 3 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss. They really got after the quarterback. Jaden Daniels, he played all right. He didn't really play that well. I mean, we thought his legs were going to be more of a factor. They really weren't.
That's one thing I commend this defense for is they contained him perfectly.
Yeah, he had 16 carries for 60 yards.
Yeah, I mean, they did a really good job of containing him. Our DBs, Keyshawn Butte, I mean, I don't know how many receptions.
We didn't contain him.
Wait, we'll see.
No.
How many yards did he have?
Wait, no, never mind. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I was looking at a different stat line. I'm wrong. 1 reception for 4 yards. We did contain him. I'm wrong. Sorry.
Thank you. I was going to say, because I definitely didn't see him make a lot of plays. So
he did hurdle a dude. He had a couple really big plays that got called back for penalties. One of them, he hurdled the defender.
They call him. We can't do nothing about it. So, I mean.
Did you see where he hurdled? I don't know who it was. But he went Olympic hurdler over one of our defenders.
I do remember that, but then he got called back. So.
Yeah.
Did, yeah.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, let's
anything else that you guys want to note
on? 2 points, Jake, that you want to see this Auburn offense do or look like improve on going into Georgia. 2 points.
To be honest, I want to see this team better. Our offensive line has to get better. Still they played better, still subpar. Still lack that rush push. I know this isn't going to happen. I want to see better play calling. I don't want to see shots on 4th down. I want to see they're all realistic. You want realistic things or unrealistic things?
I mean, whatever you think they should improve on. I don't know.
I want to see a more accurate quarterback. I want to see these check down passes be completed. I'd rather see some short completions, some more play action, play calling, make linebackers make decisions. We didn't really see that. I got a lot, but what about you, Connor?
What about
my most important thing that I saw, this is really to compete with Georgia this week. We showed some potential with some big plays this week, which I haven't seen all season, not one. It was
seen
really
that 2 seasons.
Right, yeah. It was a little bit refreshing to see our offense just gain over 10 yards at once. And if we execute the right way and time our big plays or maybe even trick plays, whatever it may be, on the right down, the right part of the field, we could. I'm not saying we can beat Georgia, but we can do some damage. Georgia looks kind of lackluster right now. I'm not saying this Auburn team can beat a top 2 team in the country right now, but
they almost lost to Missouri. I mean,
exactly. We beat Missouri, so there's that. My other key, like Jake said, play calling is really important, and that really does tie into the big plays as well. There's just so many times, and I'm not a coach, I'm not an offensive coordinator, but I just saw so many instances all season, and specifically last night, where we could have done so much better calling plays. There was just there's certain times where you see your team has a specific position, you don't need like you said on fourth down. We don't need to do that. We're not
football coaches, but we're not idiots.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I like to think that I watch and study enough football that I know what's wrong. I don't necessarily know what's right, but I know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Like I can tell right from wrong, and that's so wrong. And it makes me so angry watching him.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. But for me, this is how it's been past 2 seasons. We just can't carry over the momentum. Talking about offensive wise into the second half. I mean, we looked to be honest, we looked electric in the first half. We were driving
first
down the
20
field.
minutes. The first
Ashford
20 minutes we put up 17 points, all of our points.
Yeah, Robby Ashford was making plays. He was hitting open receivers. We were having big chunk yards. Defense was playing out of their mind, but we had to figure out a way how to carry that into the second half and just keep the energy going. Because if we don't do that against Georgia, like we didn't do against LSU, we're gonna get absolutely destroyed.
We will get embarrassed.
Yeah. So that's one thing for me is just to some way find a way to carry the momentum for the first half, and the second half, because we have to do that. So.
I saw I don't remember the specifics of the stat, but it said Harson's time at Auburn that it basically just entailed that Harson chokes at halftime. That's really what it was.
Really? No. Couldn't be. Couldn't be him.
Yeah.
There was some kind of point differential that was like
it's
god
probably
awful.
atrocious. It's probably atrocious. Infinity to 0. But yeah, before we wrap up, one more question. MVP of the game. Connor, I'll start with you.
It's got to be Ashford for me. It was so good to see him throw balls to the end zone. Obviously, it didn't happen all night, but just 337 yards and a touchdown for a quarterback that's for the past couple weeks. 2 touchdowns, yeah.
You're good.
It's really good to see a quarterback that runs almost all the time. You know, we started the Missouri game with 17 straight rushing plays, and it was great to see the third or fourth play of the game. It seemed like a passing touchdown way down the field.
Right. Yeah.
It was good to see that.
Yeah.
Eli, what about you?
Yeah, I'm a field Robby Ashford as well. He's improved heavily from the Missouri game with his accuracy, his playmaking abilities. Look, I mean, we thought he was one-faceted with his legs, but I think this game he proved he's got a good right arm and 2 good legs. So I think that's what I like to see. He looks like he knows how to play the game, and I like his competitiveness. So that's what I'm going to go with him.
Mine. My MVP has got to be the jungle, the Auburn students and the stadium. I mean, the last couple weeks have been hard to pick football players, so I'm going to rock with the students. I mean, it was loud. It was an electric environment. We scored 17 points in the first 20 minutes of that football game. The last 40 minutes were absolutely brutal. They gave us nothing to cheer for, like nothing. Like I think we had 5 first downs in the last 40 minutes of the game.
Defense gave us something to cheer about.
The defense gave us something. Colby Wooden played really well.
Dude, we didn't talk about. Let's talk about it for like 5 seconds. Colby Wooden had a hell of a game.
Yeah, I think he had a sack and a couple tackles for a loss. Big game.
Wesley Steiner also led the team in tackles too, so that's a good thing to mention.
Yeah. I also noticed, I said this on the show, I want to see a little more of Owen Papo east to west action. Definitely saw that. He made a bunch of plays out by the boundary, so he played really well. Look for that to continue against Georgia if his draft stock is going to rise. Yeah, just talking about the jungle, just a little bit before I wrap up. I think it's so weird that we do swag surfing at the start of the fourth quarter. I also think it's super weird that the band played neck when we were down 4. Just want to throw that out there.
Dude, swag surfing in the fourth quarter with the
we were losing.
And
we lost.
Get the hype. You got to get the momentum somewhere.
Get the crowd back in it, yeah, bro. If your team's
I thought we were in it before that. I thought the stadium was jumping before that. It's to me as so my analogy or my example of that would be like, so I'm a huge Yankee fan. In the Bronx, when they win a ball game, they play New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. For years, they would play New York, New York only after wins. And now, I think it started last year, they play it after wins and losses. And so it's lost that value. If you play swag surfing when you're down by 4 points in the fourth quarter and you're losing, and you don't win, I feel like it loses like that value, in my opinion.
Nah, in my opinion, I don't think swag surfing will ever lose its value to the Auburn students, just because as soon as that song comes on, everybody knows you're grabbing one guy right here, you're grabbing one guy right here, and you're going to turn up. Like, that's just what happens when that song comes on. So I don't think, I mean, we could be down by 40 and they play that song and we're still going to shake the whole stadium. So, I mean, it's different in pro sports. With a bunch of drunk college students, they hear that song, they're like,
goosebumps every time.
So, yeah, and then neck. I thought playing neck was terrible. I kind of
thought it was funny because it was kind of.
It was hilarious. It would have been hilarious if we won and like it was like a show up song, but like we were losing and whatever. It was like showboating early, and then we ended up turning the ball over.
Yeah, definitely.
That basically sums up our game. Yeah, that sums up our game. Chirp early, lose late.
That's good.
But yeah, that just about wraps us up. Is there anything else that you guys want to mention before I close out?
I'm happy that we're improving a little bit at a time.
Our defense, they look night and day from last game for sure.
Yes, sir.
Because I mean, the last game they played a good first half, but they kind of died down like their offense did. This game they stuck through the entire majority of the game. So
yes, sir.
Look for that.
Yeah. Thanks you guys for joining the recap pod. We do these every Sunday after game day. They're either posted Sunday or Monday, whenever we put them together. Just wanted to ask anyone watching, if anyone answers, if anyone actually watches long enough to hear this, would you all rather hear like 5-10 minute little segments of like Auburn football updates, or is like a 30+ minute thing good? So just wanted to ask that. These are going up on LazSports.com and the Laz Sports YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe those videos. And yeah, thank you guys for joining. Peace.
Thank
War
you.
Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.